your sister check her cash app.
Hey, what you doing here? I ain't know you was rolling out here. You got a minute for me to share the word with you?
We're gonna take a little music.
Alright, cool. Let's get right to it. Luke chapter 10, verse 19. I've been waiting to share this right here with you. Jesus says, look, I have given you authority over all the power of the enemy, and you can walk among snakes and scorpions and crush them, and nothing will injure you. I'm down with some. In other words, Jesus is telling you he has given you all power over the devil. So you have no reason to be fearful. The devil can't injure you. You got authority over that little knucklehead. You ain't got to be fearful. You have no reason to be fearful, but every reason to be faithful. Can I be honest with you? See, the Super Bowl happened not too long ago. You feel me? And see, I was watching the Super Bowl, and at about the second quarter, I realized something. They had two linemen, an offensive lineman and a defensive lineman, and like they had got into it. Like they were pushing each other. And in my mind, you know me, I'm like, man, it's about to go down. Like they about to swing on each other. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting there, I'm watching the game. I'm like, oh, they about to swing on each other. All of a sudden, they kept yelling and going back and forth, going back and forth, going back and forth. And the teammates was trying to pull them off of each other because they was kind of tangling. You feel what I'm saying? They was getting close to throwing a blow. I know what a fight looked like from a mile away. You know what I'm saying? I don't fight, but I done seen plenty. So I'm like, man, it's about to go down. So they yelling back and forth, yelling back and forth. Walked in the midst of them and threw out this yellow flag like this. Boom. And when he threw that yellow flag, everything stopped. No matter how mad the players was at each other, they all stopped and stood with respect and admiration and waited on his call because they knew one thing: that boy got authority. My tripod about to fall. I can't break this one. My phone already cracked. I can't let it go down again. You feel me? I'm close enough to grab it though. We're gonna keep it rolling. So look. They knew one thing. That referee only 5'1", 130 pounds, soaking wet with a brick in his pocket. Like, the dude is a lightweight. He only 5'1", but little homie got authority. He got the white and black stripes on. He got the zebra stripes on. He got the yellow flag. That signals authority. It don't matter that the linemen are 6'5", 325 pounds, and they can bench press 500 pounds. None of that matter because they ain't got the type of authority that the referee has. When he steps on the scene and throw that flag, he can say 15-yard penalty. Everybody back it up. And everybody, they got to comply with it. They got to get in line. Well, in that same way, what Jesus is saying, he says, behold, I have given you authority over the devil. So what Jesus is saying is, DeMarcus and you, I have given you a flag to keep in your pocket. And when you see something out of line, you can speak the word, and the devil got to take off running. The devil got to get in line. You've been given authority, man. So you got to act like it. Don't walk around here all fearful, gloomy, and doomy, walking around.
Please subscribe. Yes,
you
it's
got
a doll.
authority.
It's a mannequin doll.
Act like a referee act. A referee not walking around with his head down. He walking around the game with his whistle. He looking around. He looking for something that's out of line because he gonna call it out. That's what you do when you got authority. So you got to walk around your house with your word of God, speaking the word of God out loud. You can make them devils take off running. In the name of Jesus, the devil has to flee because, see, you got authority. See, Jesus gave you the authority when he died on the cross for all of your sins, your guilt, your shame, any and everything. You got authority today. That's all I wanted to share with you. Hey, I appreciate you showing up out here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't know you was going to be out here. Yeah.
Be right back.
What's up, guys? Dimitri Vegas here. My brand new track, 2 Times, together with Steve Aoki, is available now on TikTok, and I can't wait to see all the amazing creations you guys are gonna come up with.
I am capable of creating limitless wealth. I welcome financial miracles into my life. I am attracting my dream career effortlessly. I am worthy of receiving wealth and success. I am grateful for every opportunity the universe sends me. My work is meaningful and brings me happiness. Financial growth comes naturally to me. I attract wealth with my unique talents. I am always improving and achieving new goals. My financial blessings multiply every day. I am a magnet for lucrative opportunities. I trust the universe to guide me toward wealth. I am surrounded by wealth and prosperity. I am grateful for the financial abundance in my life. My career brings me joy and stability. I am always in alignment with my highest potential. Every day, I step closer to my dreams. I am confident in my ability to succeed. My career aligns perfectly with my purpose. I am thankful for my growing financial freedom. I attract wealth through hard work and creativity.
I do.
I am fearless in pursuing my career goals.
I am. I don't like to waste my time.
My wealth increases as I share it with others. I am grateful for the balance between work and rest. The universe is always conspiring in my favor.
And put that out to them. Now, option 5. Now, before I get into option 5, I know right now someone's saying, oh, if you're with me, if you're ready, let me know in the comments because this is urgent. All right. The first option. Oh, by the way, watch the whole video because of these options is going to be interesting for certain people. So you may not get it in the first 2 or 3, but you may get it later on. So the first option is find someone who needs a virtual or in-person assistant for just a day or two. Don't go out there and try to get your resume together and try to get somebody to hire you for the next few years. Find someone who could use some help for just a day or 2 or for a week. Because you want to make money fast, and there are a lot of people in the world. There are a lot of people around you. If I look out my window, look out my building, I look out there and I say, if I had to start over stuff from scratch today, what would I do? Let me tell you what I would do. I would go door to door to these small businesses and companies and see people, go to co-working, go wherever I could go. And I would say, an assistant manager. I would also go on the social, right? You can do this virtually. Go on social, go on LinkedIn, go on Instagram, etc. Hopefully, even if you have an email list, that's helpful. They don't read it. Hopefully, I am taking on some system work. Now you gotta be like, not worried about your ego right now. But guess what? You're trying to make ends meet, right? So I wouldn't worry about this. This is like legal, honest work. I want to be somebody's assistant for me. And don't tell me, oh, I used to be the boss, I used to do this. Does it matter right now? Would you rather you used to be the boss or make your rent or pay the bills? Or eat? Because I know my options. I know my joys, okay? So what you want to do is you want to put down for the bill that for X amount of money, whatever that is to you will help someone virtually or in person. Second option, and this is interesting, okay? Think about the last time maybe you were driving, maybe you were in a car, and you were passed by a long line of people. And they were waiting to get to a restaurant, waiting to get for a sneaker drop, or a toy drop. Something was happening, and there was a line wrapping around the corner, waiting for passengers. It doesn't happen as often as it used to, but it definitely still happens. What you can do is offer to stand in line for that person. So either find the line and go up to people who are further back in the line and say, I will stand in line for you. When you come back, pay me, I will stand in line for this hour, for these 3 hours, whatever it takes, whatever you're comfortable with. And there's that exchange. Now, I would do, if I'm doing it in person, I'm just finding this person, I would do like half now, half later, because they can bounce, change the lines, whatever, and they also need that trust with you. So you both have to trust each other. But it is something that you could do. This isn't for everybody, but this is something you can do, especially if you're younger and you just have a lot of time on your hands. This is something that you could do. You can also wait in line on a phone. Now, I recently hired someone to do this for me. I had about 20, I'm not exaggerating, I had about 20 different phone calls that I had to make about one topic that had to do with a business topic. And I was going to be on a call 20 times when who knows how long. Think about when you call like an airline and you call for customer service. Who knows how long? And I was going to have to do that 20 times. And I said, not today, Satan. That's not happening today. So I hired someone, gave them the phone numbers, and let them have them wait on the call. When they got to the person, they asked the question I needed to ask, they gave the information I needed to give, and they were able to put it into a spreadsheet and give me the answer. In some cases, they were not willing to talk to someone who wasn't me. So this will not work for every single type of thing. But for people who are trying to travel, people who are trying to just get some answers about something that's part of a step or a process, it's like, okay, I have to get this answer from this group, especially the government stuff. I don't want to be a call for 2 hours. Your call comes place and says, your wait time is 45 minutes, or your wait time is 2 hours plus. Have somebody else do it, especially, or have someone else do this for somebody else, especially if it's involved. People will pay you to do that if you have the patience. Try to do something that doesn't involve you having somebody's credit card information, and doesn't involve like you having to buy something, just getting information. You could actually get paid $20, $50, $100. I paid a few $100s for the service because it was so needed for me. It helped me, those $100 helped me make thousands of dollars because it helped me buy back my time. So it's definitely something that people do. Now, the third option, and I hope you're writing this down so you can decide on which one you're going to do. The third option is that you're going to conduct interviews for a business. Now, remember, we're saying choose one of these options and just go with it. So the first two were interesting, but you're still waiting to see if one really clicks with you. This may be the one. Now, before I describe this one and several other options, they're going to help you make money. One thing I'd like to ask you is to please subscribe to this channel. What we're doing is a really cool experiment to see if it's really working. I did this a couple of videos back, and I got 400,000 views and more than 20,000 subscribers. And what I want you to do is, if you're not yet subscribed, and this video is giving you any value, please subscribe. That's all I'm asking. It's free to do, and it'll help you not miss one of my videos. Option 3 is to conduct interviews for a business. Now, what does this mean? A lot of small businesses and large businesses, but definitely small businesses, and even like coaches and people who do one solo businesses, they need to interview people like their current customers, like several dozen or 100 customers, for research for themselves. Or they need to interview their vendors, several dozen of them, or potential clients or potential customers to get market research to understand what they need. So they may be wanting to interview a lot of their customers at once to see how they're doing and see how they get that kind of review and number for themselves, right? Like rating for themselves. Or they may want to interview a lot of people who are like their customers, who could be customers, to see what messaging in their marketing is resonating in their offer, what's really working. You can probably think of this for yourself, right? You're like, yeah, I would love to do that. So someone out there is willing to pay you to get on a series of Zoom calls to have these calls. Zoom, Google Meet, whatever it takes to have these calls, maybe even in person. And again, it could be virtually, it could be in person, it could be local, but you're going to go to small businesses, you're going to go to coaches, you're going to go around, you're going to walk the pavement if you have to. Because again, this is what I would do. I would walk the pavement. So you go out and you say that you are willing to do this. And you could put this on Instagram or LinkedIn. You could say, would you like to, like, if the person isn't already doing this, you introduce them to the idea and then you do it for them. So you say on LinkedIn, for instance, would you like to know what your customers think? Would you like to have a rating of your customer satisfaction and not have to lift a finger? For $300, I'll interview up to 30 of your customers in a 10-minute interview, and I'll give you that rating. Or I'll do a survey that's followed by a one-on-one conversation. But the key is to make it really, really bespoke for them, customized for them, and valuable for them. And you can do that once, and then you can replicate that, learn from that first time, and then replicate what worked, take away what didn't. So think about that right now. Like, I wouldn't interview employees. First of all, you don't want to get a company that's too big, so it won't be so helpful to interview just a few employees. And second of all, because the compliance could be like really not good. You want something that's like easy. You want to do this, watch this video today, and then 24 hours from now you're working on it, right? So you don't want to do anything that's too complex. Is this helping? Let me know in the comments if this is helping you so far. Let me know what you're thinking about these first 3. We're just getting started. Again, take notes, make sure you subscribe, and here's option 4. Make a list and charge for it. And what I mean by this is more market research. So again, people will pay for convenience. They'll pay to buy back their own time because let's say it's me or it's someone, let's even say it's you, or say someone you know, we know what things that have the most value and leverage for our time. And if we could do more of that, we would. So any chance we get to say, look, I'll pay $50, I'll pay $100, I'll pay $200 to buy back more of my time, like we'll make thousands, we do it. And because we're not doing this, these options aren't for you to do for the rest of your life. It's for you to do today and tomorrow and this week to make ends meet. It's like, okay, cool, I'll take that exchange. Right? I'll do that work for you so that you can go do things that you need to do to put myself in a position so I can go do things I need to do. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments.
It should make sense.
So what I mean by this is you're going to make these lists. Like, let's say it is database, a business leads chart, like all the, let's say a company is selling an offer to other businesses. They tell you what types of businesses, and you go out and you do all kinds of research for a full day, like 8 hours of research between you, Google, ChatGPT, all kinds of things you could do, the things that you could research and review, other people's lists, etc. You put together a list of this is the name of the company, this is what you do, this is why it would be a great need for you, this is who you contact and how. There is a list in Los Angeles that is an industry list, and it costs so much money. It's like thousands of dollars each year, because it helps you find things faster. Every single thing on that list that costs thousands of dollars, you can Google. But I'm not going to sit there and Google all these names. I want to be able to go to the list and just find it. Put it in alphabetical order. Put it in numerical order. Put it in categories. But whatever it is, you make it really valuable, and then you can sell it on Gumroad as a digital product, or on Stan, if you know stanstore.com. You can also put it into your classroom on school if you're on school right now. I work on school, and I teach that in All Access, so there's like links in the description for all of your stuff when it comes to All Access and how I teach you all that day to day. But really, that part's the easy part. Gumroad, we had Sahil who runs Gumroad on this channel before. They got you hooked up. School has you hooked up. Stan has you hooked up. It's that part's easy. It's just, can I dedicate a full day to really making this valuable? Don't go out there and just take somebody else's list and slap your name on it. Don't do that. That'll be found out. Put the work in, and do some research and see what people need, and put that out into the world. Now, option 5. Now, before I get into option 5, I know right now someone's saying, probably already yelling at me and saying, how do I find these people to talk to? Look, there are many ways to do it. You have social. If you're watching this, you have access to some people. And I really wanted to impress that upon you. There's a lot of people who think that they don't have a lot of control over things. You have so many people. So you have 20 people on your Instagram. You have 100 people, 200 people. That's somebody. And all you need to do is get started. You also have a phone. Open up your phone, go into your contacts, and think about 5 to 10 people you can reach out to. You're not going to reach out to them for a month.
Yeah, that's what they claim, 5 to 10
people. You're going to say, hey, can I be your assistant for a day? And it's either that, or it's social, or it's a combination. Option 5. If you're still with me, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for being here. Organize and sell other people's stuff. Now, I wanted to make this list extensive. I know this is a longer video, but I wanted to make it so that you have 0 chance of not finding something that you can do. This is for in person. There are so many people in person. We do so much online that we sometimes forget that there are like thousands of people who live around us in most cases, unless you live like way out. So there are people every single day who could use some help organizing. If you are someone who is good at organizing your own life, your own home, your own closets, etc., you can do this service and get paid for it. I have someone who comes in once a quarter and organizes my life and my home. They just organize different things, and it just helps me so much. And I pay them hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars to do this. And they have multiple clients. So they come in for 3 or 4 hours, once a quarter, and they do this multiple times, whatever they want. They work for themselves, and they have fun, and they enjoy it. That's the key. They enjoy it. So that's one thing. Option 6 is very in the same realm because it's local, but this one is interesting. Sometimes we get items and we buy items and we need to return it. But because we're so busy or we're so kind of not wanting to do it, we don't end up returning those items, even though we might get $200 back or $50 back or whatever, or even more, if we were to just put it in the box, take it to the post office, or go to UPS, or do the thing we're supposed to do, or have somebody come pick it up. We just don't end up doing it. I know that happens to me all the time. Something doesn't fit, or something is the wrong brand, or something is off. I didn't like it. I could easily return it and get my money back, but I don't end up doing it. What you're going going to do is let people know I will pick that up for you. Make some flyers. Go to some place that you normally go. Do you go to a church? Do you go to a co-working spot? Do you go anywhere that you can put a flyer up and you ask somebody, hey, I will do the returns for you. I'll help you organize if that's what you're interested in option 5. But if not, look, I'll just do the returns for you. I'll take this to the post office. I'll take non-return to the post office. I'll just take what you need to the post office. Or I'll take it to UPS. I'll do what you need me to do. That's ethical, legal, and safe. Right? You're that person for somebody. Option 7. It's kind of similar. Again, it's local. This is something that has many apps for it, but you're going to just bypass the apps because what we're talking about is that you need to write this form. So you're going to be somebody's personal shopper. Most likely it's going to be grocery shopping, but that could also be like, I need you to go to XYZ place, any place that's not acting a fool with BEI. I need you to go pick up some supplies, I need you to pick up this or that, and bring it. And if you have a vehicle, that helps. If you're doing ride share, it can be something that you don't need a vehicle for, but you're picking up something for someone so that you can save them time. What you could do with this, and this one's like really interesting to me because I wrote down a bunch of stuff that I either pay for or I have done before. And most of them I've done before. But the personal concierge, you know when you go to a hospital, you know when you go to a hotel, and there's a concierge sometimes at the front, and they'll tell you where a restaurant is, and they'll tell you kind of this or that, or they'll make reservations for you, they'll tell you where to go to town. But you can have a personal concierge. I have a personal concierge. We don't call it that. And that person probably doesn't think of it that way. But it's true. I have maybe once or twice a week, this person will get groceries for me. They will pick up prescriptions for me. They will run errands. So if I have something I need to get across town, they'll pick it up for me, take it to them. I need something shipped, they'll ship it. They'll do these odds and ends that don't have like this finite exact thing, as long as it's safe, ethical, and legal. They'll pick it up for me, they'll deliver stuff, they'll print things, they'll scan things, there's all kinds of stuff that they'll do, pick up mail, all of that. Personal concierge. You can be that for somebody. Again, you don't have to be that for them forever. You can say, I'm going to do that for the next couple of days. I'll do that for a week. And if they like it, maybe they'll ask you to keep doing it, but you get to decide. You get to have the option. I don't want to do it anymore because I made ends meet and I want to run my company. I want to go back to my 9 to 5. Or you could say, yeah, that was cool. I could do that for this, this amount of time. So let me know in the comments. This way I'm actually really interested to see if you will do this. Option 8. We're still going here. Who's still with me? Let me know in the comments if you're still with me by writing the words, I'm still with you. And have you subscribed yet if you're not a subscriber? If you are a subscriber, thank you so much. You recently helped me with 100,000 subscribers. There's an unboxing video on this channel. I'm so proud to get that plaque for 100,000. You made it possible.
Just curious.
Option 8. I'm doing this for you because I know you all need this. So, there is a platform called School. I teach about that. And a lot of times I'll say, make a free membership because a free membership will help you in the long run. Having a paid membership and do all these upselling and high ticket offers. And it is 100% true. I'm helping people make $100,000 in 12 months inside of Arms All Access, which is on School. For our purposes, for you to make money today, tomorrow, I'm going to suggest something a little different. I have several memberships on School. One of them is called List Builder Pro. And on List Builder Pro, I charge $9 per month or $50 per year. It is a low ticket school. And I made about $6,000 in the past few weeks with it. And the first 2 weeks, when I was on a 14-day free trial, I made about $3,000. Because the price is so low, and you can bring people to it and they're willing to take a risk. And some people will just upgrade to yearly. But the key here, here's the key. It is something that is what I consider faceless. So the reason I said to do a free membership and then a paid membership and do this whole thing that takes a year when I'm talking otherwise is because that's like your life's work. It's not something that just to fly by night. You're spending a lot of time learning. For this purpose, an experiment could be that you do what I do, which is I'm teaching people how to get more email addresses on their email list.
I'm trying to teach people how to stay persistent so that we can get a job.
Or my pain point in life or my history. Like if you don't know, if you're not familiar with me, 10 years ago I was homeless and I lived on I slept on the floor of the San Francisco airport. I was 34, still broke.
She's lucky.
Food stamps, but they run out.
Some of our
And then I
neighbors
went
make fun
on
of people
to
like us.
invest in 200 companies led by underrepresented founders. And on top of that, I've raised like $30 million and generated millions and millions of dollars. So that's a big story, right? I've been on the cover of Fast Company and Black Enterprise and have 2 books out, behind me, all of that. That plays
She's
into
awesome.
what I do with All Access and with my bigger membership. But with List Builder Pro, it doesn't really matter.
Thank you guys
All
for
that
being
matters
here.
is, can I help someone get more email leads to their email, to their list? Yes. And I have a great membership there. It took me about 3 hours to start it. I had a 14-day free trial in school.
3
And within
hours to
14
start.
days, I
14
had generated
days.
about $3,000 and had been
She
paying
started
off
generating
of that
$3,000, and I can get 2 pennies to rub together.
And as long as you're willing to pay the monthly rate, especially if you're charging for yearly memberships,
That's
you
what
don't
we
want to
need.
just stop at 3 months in,
Pay to play.
then it is something to consider. You can find a topic, use ChatGPT if you can, find a topic that you think is going to help somebody with a pain point that you're interested in, but it doesn't have to be something that you're passionate about. Make a school membership that you charge $5 to $10 a month. This is like the specific time. And then make like the yearly, 50% off or more. And then get that out into the world. And if you're confused about how to get it out into the world, I'll stop here and tell you for a second. If you click on my name, you can go on YouTube. You can go to my playlist. In my playlist, I have a for beginners playlist and a how to create your offer playlist. These 2 help you figure out how to talk to people and how to get people, find traffic, find leads. Okay? I'm not leaving you hanging. Okay? So that's option 9. You would go to the link in my description here. That's how you get your school, your 14-day trial. You would set it up, but you have to be dedicated, even though it's for the now, you have to be dedicated if you sell it by the year. And I think that selling the yearly option with that price anchoring of the monthly is how you make, like with mine, it's $9 a month, $50 a year. So I make about $25 per sign up at the beginning. So it just kind of lifts it from that $9. But you got to think about all those things. Anyway, that's option 9. Some of you will take that. You may take that. Option 10, you're going to set up YouTube's filming in an extra room. Now, what I mean by that is right now I'm on Zoom. I don't have any lights, but I do have lights here, but I don't have them on. I just kind of hit record because this is how I like to do it. But some people want their YouTube channels to be really nice. What all that means is they want a better camera, or they want their better lighting, or a better lens, and they want it to flow through their computer and have the sound thing going. And that is not a hard thing to do. But let me tell you from experience, it takes too much time to learn for my taste. So I haven't done it yet. I'm completely cool with that. But it wouldn't hurt to have that set, right? What you can do is, if you already know how to do this, you simply put it out into the world that you will go to someone's house and set this up for them. They can sit in the living room and watch TV while you work on this for them. They supply the equipment. You give them like a list of things to buy. They supply the equipment. You set up a time, and you come
I
in
do all of that
and
stuff, and I do it for free, and I can't get paid now
you also
anyway.
do it where you are on virtual with them and you're talking to them through it. So that's not a do it for you, that's a do it with you. I would prefer to do it for you because it just really takes all of the pressure off the client. You help them out, and people are willing to pay a lot for this service. What if you don't know how to do this? Go to YouTube, you're already on there.
I'm just curious.
Just search how to set up my YouTube filming room, how to set up my home office for YouTube. Search them. You will find thousands, maybe hundreds of videos that teach you how to do it. look at the ones who have the most views and watch those. Watch the ones that have been done in the last 3 years. Teach yourself how to do that. Is my answer. Teach yourself how to do it. If somebody's going to pay you $300 or $500 or $1,000
Okay.
to do this,
I'm just curious.
and
Just checking
only
it out.
people want this service, I would love it. So, option
Oh, we live
11.
everywhere and nobody else is
Well,
alive,
before I
or
get
is
to option
everybody
11,
dead, or
tell
I've
me
been cut
from
off?
top 10 options, which
Either
one
which
is
way, let me know
if
something
there's
so I
one
can
that
go
you
about
found,
my business.
if
I
there's
don't
one
want to
that
waste
you
my money.
found, put it in the
Shit
comments.
sucks ass.
If you haven't found your option yet, let me know and tell me a little bit about yourself and maybe I'll do another video like this. If you'd like me to make another video where I tell you option 11 through 20, let me know in the comments right now.
Yay, 3 watchers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wait for 2 more and then we'll get started.
Some people just know they can save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check your outfit first before meeting your girlfriend's family.
But I thought I would do something kind of fun and talk through all of the side hustles I had. Now, I've had more than these 10, but I'm going to talk through them in order of the amount of money I need from them. And as we get towards the end, we will see more and more things that you may be able to apply. But really, you can do any of these if you're trying to make some extra cash. Okay, so the first one is paint numbers on house curves so that people can see it easier. This one's for old school. This is one I used a long time ago, but it was something I came up with where I got some paint by numbers, like the number kind of templates, and I knocked door to door and asked in my neighborhood if I could repaint their numbers fresh on their curves so that when people were delivering pizzas, they would see it easier to curve. Now, I don't know if that would be great to do now, but there's definitely the need for the delivery drivers to get to you faster. I think I was paid like maybe $3 per number, so it's usually a 3, 4, or 5 digit number. And I would sit out there in the Texas sun, and I would sit on the ground and paint these. It would take about 30 minutes each house. And of course, there was the sewing and the walking and all of that. But it was interesting. I said I was.
I guess I creeped somebody out. They left.
And it taught me a lot about sales and people. The second one is stuffing envelopes with information like whatever the company needed, right? So I remember when I was a teenager.
Better? Can you guys see better?
Teenager
Awesome.
and young adult, I would find these gigs. Either I'd find them like in the newspaper, or a friend of the family would have something going on, and we would go on the weekends, and it would be like a corporation or a law firm or an accounting firm, and they would have to send out thousands of physical letters. And so they would have a few of us just 8 hours for 1 or 2 days.
No, this is too small. I'll try a bigger Coke.
Putting it in envelopes, sealing them, putting them in a file, and moving on. And I think I made around $20 per hour for this, which was like gold at the time. And would still be, actually. It's something, it's honest work, and it's something that I did a few times, and maybe something good. The third thing I did was I sold ads on a blog that I used to have. I had a couple of blogs. I would sell ads on it. I would sell
Well,
space.
I have a blog, but I have 18K.
And I would charge $50 for a per 3 months bundle. And someone would pay me to have their clickable link and their banner tag page. And I remember having a banner that was very more expensive than $200. Then I had the ads on the side of the right side of the page. And that was really cool. That taught me a lot. We're talking 15, 20 years ago, but it taught me a lot about sales. It taught me a lot about negotiating and also kind of automating. Because once I had it figured out, I could then say, this is what we do, this is how you sign up for it, this is how you apply to do something. Also taught me about attention, like retention, just having eyes on what I was doing so that people would want to be on the audience.
Why did Amazon send me $3,000? Because I use Amazon AI. I'm going to show you a way to potentially make money by pairing Amazon with the power of AI without ever selling physical products. And I promise you've never heard about this before.
Why is Amazon paying me $63,000 a month? Well, I didn't make this kind of money selling yoga mats and toasters, and I damn sure wasn't talking to my friends into buying vitamins and juices. I did it with a free app that's probably already on your phone. That app is the Kindle app.
I just created some simple digital products, then I put them up on Amazon, and it was so exciting. The first time I tried it, I made $14, and I was like,
The fourth is, this one's kind of fun. This is one that I probably would still, let me know in the comments if this is something you would want me to do.
Yay.
I used to wear a branded t-shirt from a company or a person, and I would then record whatever I was recording that
I'm
day,
just
or
curious.
go live, or take pictures, and I would have that logo. So I would become the billboard. And the group would pay me $50, $100, $200 per day or per week or whatever it was, where I would wear the shirt and then post it throughout the week. So it's kind of interesting. It reminds me of back in the day, maybe
I got another idea.
where there was this page where I
Hold
think it
on.
was 1,000 or 1,000,000 pixels or something like that, or little
Here's
pixels
another
that
one.
you
This
could
is
buy
better
at one
made.
time for $1, and they made $1 million. And then another one was you could buy a word in the English language that you had that word on this website. It was really clever. The guy out of Ireland, and it was just these ideas. I don't even know if this in there, but it was just these ideas of how do you sparse out incremental things and sell. So with the T-shirt idea, I could do that today. Like, this shirt is a gift for me, and it could say something else, where I could, of course, put my own company out there, and that's definitely something I suggest you do. Alex Hermos was really good at that for himself, like his own websites, his own logos. Really, really good at that. I have some game too. I have some game for sure, especially in person. I like to wear shirts that have to do with various things I'm involved in. But that's something you can think about. Like, for me, ask me, let's see if anybody wants to buy that from me. But for you, is that something you can offer someone? Are you in front of people on your Instagram and your LinkedIn? And could that be a cute way of making some extra dollars? Number 5, transcription. Pretty boring. Transcription, but I did that a ton. I've done a lot of work. Like, when I tell you about working and that work ethic and all of that, it's not just about the venture capital. Like, today I've raised and earned millions of dollars, but that's not what I'm really talking about. Because it is hard work, believe me. But I'm talking since 15, doing this stuff, doing the side hustle stuff. Transcription, before there was AI, or really AI, and you can just get something transcribed in 2 minutes. It was manual, and it's still manual now. You can actually sign up for transcription websites, because some people want their transcription from a human, or they want it in a certain language, or they want it in a certain, you get some certain subtlety and nuance, and they don't want it done by just AI. So that's what I did, and I would get paid per minute, I think, of the audio or the video. At one point, I was doing the transcription for Locked Up, the reality show. I was doing the transcription for, like, the hardcore Locked Up version, and it was a lot. But I did transcription for so many reality shows. I did in-person transcription once for something I'm going to talk about in number 7. But that was wild. So something, if you type fast, if you're able to hear stuff and just type it as you hear it, or rewind it, or slow it down, it's something. Number 6 is a little bit more exciting. I was an usher, not usher, but an usher for the concerts and sports events in Dallas, Texas, where I grew up. as a teenager and then as a young adult, I signed up for one place, and then they booked all of the Dallas Mavericks, ironically, now that I'm a big fan of the Mavericks, and I worked with Mark Cuban. But I was an usher for the Mavericks, I was an usher for the Dallas Stars, and I was an usher for various concerts throughout Dallas, but I can be now. So I remember one time I was an usher, and I was probably 16 or 17, and the person who was my lead was maybe 2 years older than me. And they said, look, it was a rock concert, it was for Stone Temple Pilots. It was pretty cool. Stone Temple Pilots for this one. And they said, look, this audience is rowdy, they're going to try to rush the stage, we're going to have to make an example of them. So they said to us, I remember as clear as day, they said to us, when the first person rushes the stage, tries to rush towards the front of everyone, you take their shirt and you pull it over their face and you push them back and make an example of them. And I was like, what did you just say? What? We're security now? I'm taking tickets over here and giving directions, but that was the call. So I did it. When somebody rushed, and I had to do that warrior cry. I pulled it over their head and I pushed them back, and it was a rush of a lifetime. I totally get it. Why TSAs how they are. Why the bouncers and the ushers are like that. That's because, it was a rush. And it did set a tone for the evening. It was still wild, but it was that. But then I saw Smashing Pumpkins that way, I saw Garbage that way, I saw Rush that way. And of course I was seeing all of my other faves that I actually liked. I mean, I like those too, but I was seeing my other faves otherwise, just as a customer. But that one was really cool. Another usher job, and again, you can go looking for these types of jobs because you get to experience at least some of the entertainment. If you're okay being on your feet for 8 hours or more, if you're not, it's not best for you. But if you are, it's one way to make some money and have a little bit of fun. If you can, stand the crowds. So I was an usher for T-Don, which was part of the Cirque du Soleil tour that went around. It was in Dallas, and I saw something like 17 or 18 17 or 18 shows of T-Don. And it was really, really transformative for me at 17 to see that, to work with the French-Canadian talent and crew, and it really opened my mind a lot. It was very special because there was incredible talent that we would just be working with in the background together, and having, we had like an end of tour party, and it opened my mind to travel, and it opened my mind to what was possible, and it had stoked a lot to do with the work that I would go on to do in my music. Now, speaking of live music, and if you're not familiar with what I did there, before I became a venture capitalist, before I became a true entrepreneur as well, I was a production assistant and a production coordinator for several musicians. It started out very indie, and then I worked my way up to a new level and beyond. And I worked with some really interesting people like Tony Braxton, Jason Derulo, etc. Just for a few months at a time, out on the road, working as a production coordinator. But the next one is similar to being the usher, but it's a little bit different. And that is being a production assistant for a corporate event, for a live concert. So the concert comes to town, and that team is looking for 2 or 3 people to help them that day. Or for an indie film that may be filming for 2 days or 20 days. I've done all of that. I've been an assistant. You're running around, people are telling you what to do, you're picking things up. I remember, I'm just having like all these questions. One time I was a production assistant for Alanis Morissette's show in Houston.
Alanis Morissette.
And this would have been 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And I had already been on the road in a bigger capacity during that time, but then I was at home and I needed to make ends meet, so I did it. I didn't have a problem having been on the road as someone's boss and then come back at home and do the assistant role. You should never have that problem if you really want to make good things happen. So I remember Berlin's Morset was a fantastic show. She's awesome. I've loved her music since I can remember. And one of the things that usually we'll do, or you at least be a part of, is getting that fourth meal, really, for the talent and for the crew. And usually that's like pizza, or it's, if you're in Philly, it's you get the cheesesteaks for everybody, or whatever. And you have to perfectly time ordering that many pieces of, that much food for a very large group, but at the right time so that it gets to the arena or wherever you are on time, that it's still warm and it's not too cold, but it also is not too early, and the place hasn't closed yet, and the person's usually still on stage when they're making their order. So it's a whole logistical thing. You work with it with 1, 2, 3, or 4 people, and you're assisting them. So for hers, it was sushi. It was a really fancy sushi restaurant in Houston. That was Houston. Very fancy sushi restaurant. And they sent me in a bus, like a minivan type of thing. They sent me to go pick up this sushi. And I went there, and it was about $300 worth of sushi for $0.99. And I still can't get over saying those words. And I walked in, and I said,
She won't keep still. Is it okay for me to punch her head in?
Her, and then there was pizza and other stuff for the whole group.
Luca, keep your head still. Strangle
I
her.
have an order for someone. It's a pretty big order, but it's manageable, and I need to take it out. And this was such a fancy place that they said, no. They said,
Just won't keep
the chef
still.
is going to allow the food to leave the kitchen. It's not a takeout.
Is it this part?
So I said, after having worked for maybe 10 hours,
It feels better.
just ran around doing all kinds of grunt work, I said, when I got close, I said, it's for others. And they said, oh, one moment. And they run back to the kitchen and come back. The chef would be honored to allow that. It was so cool, because I showed my credentials from my little badge that I had from backstage. And it was one of those moments where you're like, yes, I'm with myself. So, and they got it all together, and they were beautiful, and they took it back, and that was put onto her tour bus, which hopefully she had a good time doing that. But that's the kind of thing you can do, and that paid you back in the day. So I don't know what it pays today, but it used to pay like between $150 and $250, depending on what it was. It was not a lot per hour, but it was, again, you get to see the thing for free. If it's
I think this is starting
something
something right here.
something that you're doing that is not your bread and butter, could be quite interesting. And I have met a lot of people who are
Let's try
ushers
something else.
or production assistants at these events, and they're doing it. I've met people who are over 60, and they're doing it, to get a chair. They're doing it so that they can just have something fun to do. I've seen people who are all ages do it, where it's making them an extra $500, $800 per week, in addition to what they're doing, and they're only doing it for a certain amount of time, but it just shakes things up a little bit. And then there's always the indie film, or the film that comes to town. I was a production assistant for The Biggest Loser when they came to Texas to film one of the families that were involved. It was a father-son team, and I was the production assistant there. It was such a crazy experience. I was also a production assistant for One Born Every Minute, which was on Lifetime, which was Jamie Lee Curtis and the voiceover about birds at Ohio. That should be its own video. I'll make its own video about that. Let me know in the comments if you want me to tell you those stories. Boy, do I have them. Incredible stories from that time. And then the next one is number 8, is photography for casual family photos or engagements. I had a $150 1980 Minolta SLR. It wasn't digital, of course. It was born in the same year I was. And I would take people to the lake, wherever there was a lake. I would take lots of photos. Film and on print. It would be printed. and people could make options, they have options, but it was used outdoor lighting. So I would just take my camera, I would charge $150, $200, $300, and maybe it would cost me $50 or so to get the prints and the film and all of that. But that's when you can just get creative with your creativity. Is there something that you do, something in music, something in painting, something in photography? Is there something you could learn to do that people need kind of on a regular basis, but it's not this, like one of my things was I wasn't going to do a wedding because I felt like that is too high stakes for what I'm doing. But I do have a good eye and I do enjoy it, so can I have something casual that if it doesn't work out, they can still have another way of doing it, but that I do have my own kind of vibe to it. And it worked out. It happened a lot. It was really fun. Number 9, consulting by the hour. Even at my brokest, even when I couldn't make 2 pennies rub together, I would think about, okay, what have I experienced? What do I know? What's the one thing that's one step ahead of the next person that I can just say, this is how you do that? Or maybe even I do that for free for you. But usually it was just jumping on a call for 30 minutes and just talking somebody through something. This is how you upload a video to YouTube.